the famous balloons at sunrise, hot air balloons at sunrise over Cappadocia. A final view from our beautiful hotel in Cappadocia before we head off in a few moments to get the bus on for another amazing place, no doubt, and more exciting times. And that was the Uçhisar Castle up there that we were at yesterday, the Uçhisar Castle. That's some graves right up the top. I think down there will be that open air museum where we were yesterday, where they had the churches in the caves. Yeah, it's very faint, but it's crazy. Yeah, beautiful. It's not really coming out in my video. So we're now at another ancient site, Ashikli Hoyak. I think this is probably another 10,000 years old site, but we're just having to wait to see if we can get into it. It's still an archaeological dig. I don't know if it's coming out on the camera, but in the distance there, as these mountains, which, well, it was a volcano, which spewed out obsidian, so this area's got a lot of obsidian. Apparently this site, we found a lot of jewellery and makes a lot of, made a lot of obsidian jewellery and tools and that sort of thing. So hopefully we can get in there to look around, but we're having to try and check for permissions first. I think in the distance there's a man with a gun, because these are all archaeological sites apart, owned by or they've become sort of military controlled sites officially, so we need to get permission.
Drop down there of what, 50, 60 feet, something like that. And all of this is up. So what they then made here is just the most recent place. There could be stuff much later. Well, it will be once, doesn't it? Alright, we'll go in there, we'll have a little chat. Yes, all of it. Yeah, I mean, there's a local river here, and that would have been why they built here. All of it.
There's still a river here now.
So, but you can see the room where people would live and work, and you can see that the gaps between them are very small. People work very, very hard here. I mean, the women died very young, and also the men would die about the age of 50, and the examination of their bones has shown, extreme wear. There's quite a hard life living here. This was the alternative to the hunter-gatherer lifestyle, where people could do what they want. Just travel around, look after their family, maybe their friends, and now they were all settled in single villages. It was a complete change. To me, this is the memory of humanity losing their innocence in the book of Genesis. You know, Adam and Eve suddenly realizing that, you know, they're naked, and, you know, realizing that, you know, they're not immortal and everything. And I think that this is a memory of the transition from being a free hunter-gatherer, doing what you wanted, to now having a life where you had to get up you know, every day at the same time, do the same job. Your parents would have done this, your parents before them, you know, and you know that your children would do the same. That, you know, everything would be like a clockwork timetable, like we have today. This was the beginning of that style of life, really.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look in the actual undercover area.
What's the dating so far on this?
What's that?
The dating.
The dating. Well, the date, I don't know obviously this exact one, but, you know, you're dating from about 8,000 BC up to probably about 6,000. So, you know, a couple of thousand years of activity. But as you can see, it's quite clear from the depth of the Hoyak, or the Tepe, that there could be activity going all the way down. You know, I mean, what is underneath this tree? Of course, they're not going to destroy this to find out. Yeah. Well, of course, I mean, obviously this is lower down, so this would have been earlier activity. But as I said, the earliest they found so far is approximately 8,000 BC, so 10,000 years ago.
Sorry, don't worry, you're not in the picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they may well have got dating evidence from the place.
Yeah, it's come up from the river, and it slowly puts its way up into
So this is still an active archaeological site, of course. National Hoyak.
Okay, underneath this, ready?
This is the fashion. This is our fashion.
Thank you.
Watch your step. Sure. Please.
Right.
I would pick up my breakfast. I'm not going to stand here forever.
Okay, we all in?
My sister disappeared enough.
Okay, now, what this section is, as the sign suggests, is what they refer to as a special building. And what that means is quite literally a place of ritual, ceremonial, shamanic activity. And this is where the people would have connected with the other world. They would have gone into altered states. They would have connected with what they considered to be the primeval source. Whether this is connected, as I said, last night with the Sky World or the Cosmic Ocean or something else. Obviously, we can't say specifically, but this is where all that shamanic activity would have taken place. I mean, this is in many ways a sort of, I'm going to say, a later version of what you have at places like Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe. And that, you know, I mean, this, by the way, this is what's known as a terrazzo floor. This is obviously one section of it. A terrazzo floor is made of a sort of lime concrete, if you like, a lime mortar concrete that was used to completely create these perfectly flat horizontal floors. You'll find those at Göbekli Tepe. It's been found at Karahan. It was found at Mavali Chori, which was the first Tash Tepe site. And one correction to what I said earlier, Saba said that the dating that is generally now given to this site is 9000 BC, not 8000 BC, which I didn't know about, I'll be honest. That means they must have new dating that's come out of the site. And if that's the case, then this becomes absolutely contemporary with Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe. It's not classed as a Tash Tepe site because they're not using T-pillars to create what they refer to as monumental architecture. These seem to be much more basic in their design, but quite clearly there must be some kind of crossover because you've got terrazzo floors and the dates. You're not telling me that the people here would not have had you know, cross contact with southeastern Anatolia. Of course they would have done. I mean, you know, just to learn how to create terrazzo floor to begin with, and all of those beautiful obsidian artifacts that they created, you know, they wouldn't have all kept them to themselves, they would have traded them. So this, to me, is even further evidence that there was Neolithic activity connected with here and also probably with the underground cities. Because, I mean, there is one underground city really quite close to here. You know, and I find that too much of a coincidence. I mean, all right, it doesn't prove it, and not enough archaeology has been done at these underground cities. In fact, hardly any, in all honesty. And the archaeologists only want to accept that they're a few thousand years old. But I firmly believe that they go back to the end of the last ice age. So they're probably very late Paleolithic, I would say. I mean, some of them could even be earlier, of course, because that tooth, that very soft volcanic rock, has been there for millions of years. So, you know, why wouldn't you burrow into it and create a little space for you to live? I mean, it'd be absolute perfect real estate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, yeah, so that's it. Obviously, you can't really see much other than the foundations now. But this whole area was the special building. So that's a huge area of activity. Quite clearly, some of it would have been lower layers that would probably have been covered over, and the, you know, a floor put on top of that, and obviously they've broken through to reveal this part of it. But yeah, that's about it really.
Do you know if there have been artifacts found here?
Any what artifacts? I don't know what was specifically found here, but what I do know is, as I said, those beautiful obsidian bangles were certainly manufactured here because they have an example of one. Beautiful beads, huge beads were found here, made of like a purple agate, with holes pierced, like longitudinal holes pierced right the way through. And some of these beads are, something like about 1.5 to 2 inches long, and the holes are, just a couple of millimeters in diameter. So how the hell would you do that? Using a stone tool. I mean, this is an incredible skill. Plus, the earliest example of trepanning was discovered here. The idea of making a hole in somebody's head and then allowing it to heal. And this seems to have been something that was believed to allow a connection with the other world. And the earliest example of that was discovered here. You know about that? About a human skull with a hole in the head that had healed. that they discovered here. The earliest example, we call it trepanning. Trepanning. So, you know, there's a very, very advanced culture here. Yeah, that's probably about it. I mean, clearly down here is even lower lake of activity. So they're going down as far as they possibly can. You know, the earliest data now would seem to be 9,000 BC. So, you know, that's really quite interesting. Okay, right, well that's it. I mean, obviously, you know, just take in the site as we go back. I mean, we're not going to stay here very long. So just have a quick look around outside, and then obviously we'll go back. Now, as we go out, you'll see that there are reconstructions of houses. Have a look in those, go in those. And as Saba pointed out earlier, the round ones are the oldest ones. And what happened was that they then transitioned from the round houses to square. This is our lunch restaurant in Konya, which is where we're going to stay tonight, which is apparently sort of the most conservative city in Turkey. It used to be a capital way back in the early days when the people that became the Turks, Selçuk, I think Saba said, sorry I probably mispronounced that, and they won a battle against the Ottomans. Sorry, no, the Byzantines. Those people became the Ottomans, the origins of the Turkish people. So this place, Konya, is also a centre for Sufism, and the great poet, Sufi poet Rumi, used to live here. And we are going tonight. I'm very excited. Going to see whirling dervishes. Can't wait. I did walk down there because I saw a magpie. Lots of magpies here. Anatolian magpie, I believe there's a particular breed. And I was going to film one, but it seems to have flown away. It heard me coming a long way off. But yeah, very hot now. The weather's got noticeably hotter. We're moving south, and I think the weather's changing slightly anyway in Turkey as a whole, but we're starting to move in the general direction of the sort of more desert region, although we're still away from that. It's still very green, as you can see. But yeah, it's got very hot today, but it's going to get hotter, I think, as we get where the Göbekli Tepe, Kran Tepe are. So tomorrow we're going to look around Konya today, and then it's an all-day drive tomorrow to Sanliurfa, which used to be known as Urfa, and sort of biblical times, the birthplace or where the prophet Abraham grew up. Obviously central to all of those religions, the Abrahamic religions. So yeah, and then that's going to be our base for 3 nights for us to go and see the sites, the temples, or the ancient Tepla sites, but also Sanliurfa as a whole will have many fascinating places to visit. But yeah, well, the magpies abandoned me. He was going to get on YouTube, but yeah, just had a very nice lunch. Had these sort of Turkish pizza type things. the sort of delicacy, if you like, or the notable food of the region. Beautifully, very tasty.
So now, time to go onwards. A representation of what Catalhoyuk would have looked like when it was inhabited around 7000 BC or thereabouts, 7500 maybe. I think thought by many to be the oldest city in the world. So we're going to see some of the what's left. I think not much left but the foundations really, but I'm going to go and outside of this visitor centre and see that soon. There's a representation of a house, Catalhoyuk. So they seemed common in this region, other places as well. They come in through the roof, through the ladder. So yeah, just a representation of what they think it looked like. So this is Catalhoyuk. They got a new swanky visitor centre. Yeah, this is the East Mound apparently, which hopefully you can see some of the remains of the site inside. They've got this protective dome over it. So they've got sort of reconstructions and virtual exhibits in true sort of modern museum type style, which are quite good in a little way. There's some busy ants. Yeah, but hopefully you can see a little bit of the ruins themselves. I think it's really foundations that are left now, rather than sort of megaliths or something like that that are around on some other sites. But yeah, I think the significance of this site is it's claimed, I think, by many to be the oldest city in the world, something like 7000 BC, 7500 BC. Oh yeah, wow. So the reconstruction in the visitor centre, so these would have had wooden or something like roofs. People came in to their dwellings through the roofs. This sort of design there. The people of Catalhoyuk needed a new house. They would demolish the upper half of the house and use the rubble as the foundations for the new house on top. Another reconstruction of what one of the houses may have looked like. Catalhoyuk. So this is the striking venue where we will be seeing the whirling dervishes. So Konya is a centre. It's the most conservative city in Turkey, and it's been a centre for Sufism, the whirling dervishes, for centuries. And the famous Sufi mystic and poet Rumi used to live here in about the 13th century.
Thank you. Bit different to the whirling dervishes earlier. Looks like some sort of. Oh, sorry.
You see something with the, I don't know how to explain. It cut the electric.
Now coming up to the Mediterranean coastline part of Turkey. May even get to see the sea in a mile or so. So I think they're growing lemons and olives here. So this was after the earthquake, was that a year or so ago? Some temporary housing and they built new houses.
To right side, this is the river where it goes to Syria. So it's about like 20 miles further. The river will be in Syria. That's Euphrates, which crossing the Euphrates now. No, we're gonna, no, not here, we can't, on highway. We will stop to see the Euphrates. Remember when we go to Nemrut? We have nice panorama of Euphrates.
Thank you.
Who made these?
I can't wait now. I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next pool.
My strange humour. I think maybe they're trying to put this poor lady figure into a different position each morning, or maybe they're just trying to direct it so she's looking sideways at the man with the large appendage. This intrigues me. It just says piece from a stone bowl, but so I think this is from Karahan Tepe or as well. I think most of these are from that area or similar. Yeah, arms up in the air. praising God, reaching to the stars, dancing. I'm not sure. The head shapes are interesting. Roger was just suggesting the middle one is a turtle, which makes sense. It's like for a ritual bowl. I'm saying the inside is burnt, so probably use as part of the ritual.
Yep. That's here. That's that one there. The one on the left. See it? That's a bone plaque. This is a bone plaque with the T-pillars on. The 2 T-pillars. It's on the left.
There's a replica of Göbekli Tepe to scale.
Yeah, 4 one of those are really less slim.
If I can get it so it doesn't.
So we'll be going to the real thing, I think tomorrow, but don't get to go right into the enclosure and the real place. So this is a good way of getting an appreciation of the scale of it up close, because this is made to scale, the same size as the real thing.
There's the famous torch on that stone.
So it's another the Göbekli representation at the St. Museum, but this is a different, not pillar 43, but I don't know. So it looks like a human with long arms to me, and then you've got like the wading bird's head and neck and legs, but that to me then it looks like it's one of these part animal, part human, because it looks like the male body with arms reaching down and the crane, the arms going down. Oh yeah. Yeah. I just saw the great boar statue earlier here, which is real. This is part of the replica, Göbekli Tepe, but yeah, the boar is of great importance and makes me think of my talk, the Ted Hughes book, and the legends of the wild boar, regarding a sort of transformation, goring the king, killing the king, and then a new king or god taking the place. A sort of transformation, alchemical maybe as well with the boar. So this is the site of Nivali Kori, and I believe this is the exact original stones. One of the dams they built, maybe on the Euphrates, but they built a lot of dams, so the area was going to be flooded. So they took it out piece by piece and have reconstructed it here in the museum as it was. That's one of the pillars from the museum, not from there, but yeah. So this site is the original pieces as it looked on site. Those pillars there, is like an entrance gate maybe, or something, entrance, a doorway originally. So this is all the original. Oh yes, please. Wow. Go, my friend.
So this is a reconstruction of Nivali Troy. I say reconstruction lightly because these are the actual stone, the actual enclosure has been moved stone by stone from an area as part of the Euphrates River, which is now being flooded by the dam. And this dates back to at least 8,500 BC. And it's clearly a settlement with this one enclosure as the sacred area. And the niche at the back there, that's where the head with the serpent on it is, that has Vedic kind of style, like a Vedic priest ponytail. And here we have central T-pillars, hands touching the navel, like we find at the earlier sites of Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe. But this is unusual, it's a square enclosure rather than an oval or a round one. But yeah, so to have this here is amazing because we have the actual site here in Şanlıurfa Museum in Turkey.
So this is the headstone that was over there in the Valley Kori in that niche place in the far wall. So between, there would have been a second, I think, T-pillar originally, so you would have gone through those possibly, or be looking towards this in that niche. So again, you have a human with an animal on the top. I think they were saying, Hugh and Andrew saying it's a vulture. So again, the idea maybe of a psychopomp, a spirit animal type thing to take the spirit of the human up to the other world. And that face, wow, that's looking up. That's looking up, isn't it? Somewhat pensive, but hopeful of being transferred to another life. And here, next to it, this was Andrew mentioned, or no, Hugh mentioned it in the presentation last night. This head, and he was saying this, like a ponytail with in the form of a snake on the back of the head, and that's still, even now to this day, the Vedic, some Vedic culture, people in India still have this, like a ponytail in this with that sort of knot and in the form of a snake with the hair down the back of the head. And I think there has been, I think, confirmation that people did go from this region to what is now India. So maybe you've got the origins here as well of those ancient Hindu Vedic cultures in what's now India. And so this was found in the Valley Kori, which was the first of these Tepler sites to be found, and I think is a living place, although obviously still ritual stuff around it. So Hugh mentioned this in his lecture last night. So this terrazzo, it's like a form of cement, and I think that what they used in the base of these sites to hold these giant T-pillars in place. But again, shows an advanced method of construction. This form of like concrete to hold these huge things in place. They may have had other things supporting them, possibly that's still under negotiation or discussion, but that's the Valley Kori site in the distance there with those headstones, and the reconstruction of Göbekli Tepe. So in the Şanlıurfa Museum, which is just an incredible place, this head of a statue with a snake like going down the back of the head. Hugh mentioned this was a Vedic culture, still uses that now, has it on there as a ponytail sort of on the back of their heads. And this is the headpiece, again a psychopomp, a creature, a vulture on the back of a human looking towards the afterlife. And this stone was in that far niche there. This is the actual stones from the Valley Kori, which was the first Tepler site that was discovered. And they, because of a dam flooding the region, this would have looked out of the Euphrates, but it was being flooded. So they moved it piece by piece. So these are the original pillars. And that headstone would have gone in the niche there. Ah, look at these little guys. He reminds me of one of the Muppets. The guy on the left. No disrespect. Oh, great expression. Oh, great little pieces. These are later than the Göbekli Tepe sites, I think. We're whizzing through the halls now, but I think this is going through the Bronze Age, or maybe a bit later now, but so later than those Göbekli Tepe sites. But look at this. Is this some instructional tool? What are those holes for? Is that pointing to a planet or a sun? So this is the other side. That piece. Definitely seems to be symbolising something. Stating the obvious. Well, by this amazing stone with I don't know what sort of alignments. Also got these. Maybe similar to that bone plaque from the earlier period. Where I've been talking on my videos about X, and we've got X's here. X's with a line through them. And there again at the end there. And that's still a beauty. Seems to me it's like a miniature version of a pillar. No, like the pillar 43. I may be overstating it, but some sort of miniature version of something. I don't know. Would it be pointing out some alignments or something symbolic? Yeah. So this was the first bit I saw. A terrible noise, some cleaning going on in the background. But yeah, this chap seems to be pointing up to the planet or a star. And those holes, were they rare originally? Again, are they an alignment of a constellation or something like that? And this is just another piece in front of it. Which again has a figure on the other side. So this block is 5. So it says Reselimi Tas block, stone block with pictures, Bronze Age. Vidahoyak, limestone. I don't know. Fascinates me. And also, I guess around a similar site. So 6, these more blown plaques. And we've got these X's carved into these bone plaques. Vidahoyak, so the same place. That's a place name. Amazing. So it's a nice little guide to systems of writing. So around where we are, the birthplace of two writing systems, the hieroglyph system in Egypt, or the Eastern Mediterranean Basin, and the cuneiform system in Mesopotamia. So it all goes back to picture of an idea, which becomes an ideogram. It's a hieroglyphic cuneiform. So I went from pictorial representations, single symbols. Cuneiform documents drew the attention of travellers heading east. Some of them liken them to pyramid stones. From Assyria.
Calling us.
Okay. So these statues are from the Roman age. So obviously we're going much later. Sort of whizzed through the periods, having dwelt so long around the Testepla halls, not surprisingly. So that's the focus of many of our reasons to be here, and obviously in Hughes and Andrews and JJ's work has been concentrated around here for a long time. But yeah, still so many amazing things in this Al-Noor Museum, southern Turkey. In what was named Urfa, and before that Adama, Andrew says, which is a place of Adam. So this city, other places are claimed to be the site of Eden as well. I think Andrew said Eden was actually a place name, like not just a garden, but maybe a whole area. I think there's a monastery in Armenia where they claim to be part of where Garden of Eden was, and have an offshoot of the Tree of Life there, and Andrew's written about it, and I believe found as well where this offshoot is meant to be. The script there, Syriac inscriptions, grave stele, Roman age. Wow. A tombstone with an inscription. And again, looks a bit like a Tree of Life type cube of space type thing with a spiral, and it's got the sort of Templar cross, Coptic cross in the middle of it. Baptismal font, East Roman age, Haran. We're going, I think, Haran later today. And these amazing columns. Through into the Islamic period. And this city, as say Urfa as it was called, is where Abraham possibly was born or was brought up in a cave, as legend has it, which we're due to see later. Call to prayer inside the Al-Noor Museum. Looks like they've even got an evil eye in the paper dispenser in the gents' toilets. But this isn't indicative of the rest of this place where we're just having lunch. This is within Al-Noor Museum. But yeah, this looks like a place that would be very nice for a grander evening soiree.